Well,
detail that I
the big question there is going to be uh, any prediction on how far into the future that will become commercially viable? When can technology like this start to have an impact on the efficiencies that we are bounded by today?
you say can rather than will, which is interesting.
Or
Um,
yeah, yeah,
I think with sufficient acceleration from all the AI tooling, that we're 4 to 5 years from having the technology to actually start interacting with the semiconductor industry.
okay,
The ability to actually make a difference at that scale relies so heavily on all the commercialization parameters,
yeah.
whatever else gets developed in the meantime. But the technology, I think we're about 5 years out.
Which, by the way, for my friends who are in this mainly for the stock market, forget about you. We're talking about real life. 5 years is the blink of an eye. And when we talk about the concerns that we have over these mega scale data centers moving forward, the effect that they'll have on the neighbors of those data centers, the planet, whatever, all of the resources, it becomes mind boggling when we start talking about consumption of electricity. But now you start talking 5, 10 years into the future, and I've made this reference a few times because I'm old enough to remember the phases that data centers have gone through over the last 30 plus years, where there was a time when there was no room in any data center. And then all of a sudden, we did this thing called virtualization, where we optimized essentially by advances in technology how we were using these systems. We got higher yields effectively. And the next thing you know, you have every other floor tile empty because we didn't need as much space in data centers. And so I guess the overall theme here that I really want to drive home is this idea that we can't think in terms of what we're capable of doing today only, and then extrapolate that into the future when you start looking at time horizons of 5, 10, 20 years. So that's my optimistic view of this. One thing I want to know, Jeremy, what is your organization that you are a part of now? Tell us about that. What are you up to? And is there do you want people to follow that? Because we can put links into the description. But what are you
Mhm.
up to now specifically?
So first, I there are a million applications for this technology. So in the interest of open sourcing the sort of that core steam engine, I have founded the Nano Dynamics Institute, which is set up as a not-for-profit research and educational institute aiming to build sort of a focused research organization. Uh, One of the challenges we've got with nanotech is those early misconceptions have left our talent pipeline kind of thin. And so what we really need to most effectively leverage these developments is more people in the field. So I'm in nanodynamics. I'd also very happy to announce that the Astera Institute is funding our initial work, and I am taking on an Astera residency to get you know, initial funding in the lab to build these steam engines and prove how well they work.